Okay, guys, good afternoon. We're doing another video here today. Today, we're going to talk about Bowie State University. Bowie State University is in Maryland, Prince George's County, Maryland, which is probably about 10 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. It's a suburban area, pretty quiet as you see right now. We're standing here. I'm actually 15 minutes from Bowie's campus. I'm at my family's house. I'm standing in the back of my mother's garden, which has grown a little too big. So as you see, even though we're right outside of DC, which is very busy, right outside the city, you see how it is. It's good landscape. You see like a lot of deer and stuff. So you could get some quiet spaces outside the city. So we're going to dig into Bowie State. Remember, Bowie State University was one of the universities that had rolling admissions, and they actually closed rolling admissions. So we're going to go and talk about it. It's another HBCU, historically black college university. It's a state school. It's relatively cheap in terms of schools. They have some programs you may like, you may not like, but it's another one of those mid to low tier schools that you could get in easily as long as you have pretty decent grades. And a lot of international students have come there and they benefited from it. Now remember, one thing that we're trying to do is that we're trying to get some low-hanging fruit. Some low-hanging fruit of these colleges that people are overlooking that you can absolutely get into. And really, once you get into it, it basically depends on what you do when you're there. So we're going to go into that, check it out. We're going to move over to the iPad, and we're going to give a detailed explanation. Admissions, okay? Apply it online by February 1st for fall admissions and November 1st for spring admissions. I personally feel that you should apply way before. If you're an international student and you're thinking about going to Bowie State or any of these, I would recommend actually getting your applications in October before the year you want to go. And I'm just saying because that way you're going to have plenty of time to figure it out. So let's say, for example, February 1st of fall admissions, you could easily get backed up on a lot of things. You want to know what school you're going to, or at least thinking about going to, before the close of Christmas, because really once you apply, they're gonna let you know pretty soon whether you've been accepted or not. All right. Remember, we said the early bird gets the worm. All right. So you definitely have to submit official transcripts. We already know what that is, and they have to be translated. They got to be translated. You can submit them electronically to admissionrecruit@bowiestate.edu. And it seems that, really everything pretty much is like electric now. So it's not as hard for international students as it used to be. But like I said, you have to go through these steps. And as well, they said it talks about who they accept evaluations from: Span-Tran Pathways, World Education Services, Education Credential evaluators. Please don't try to get your uncle to translate and submit it. They're not going to take it. Now, submit a proof of English proficiency. If the applicant's native language is not English, they must also provide evidence of English language proficiency by taking the test of English as a foreign language, also known as TOEFL, examination for the International English Language Testing System. An official record of the TOEFL with the minimum score of 500, okay, must be sent directly to Bowie State. All right. IELTS minimum score has to be a 5 or above. Test scores must be submitted by all international students except the following: graduates of high schools within the United States. All right. Students whose native language or language of instruction is English. So if you're coming from the UK, for example, obviously you don't need to. Students transferring to Bowie State after at least 1 year at another English language college or university. All right. So you're a transfer student, you don't got to worry about it if you had your first year at an English medium university. All right. Now, it also wants you to submit sufficient evidence that the applicant will be financially supported throughout his studies in the United States, because they don't want you coming here and being stuck and then you're a burden on them. All right. Current letter from applicant verifying the amount of applicant's funds in U.S. dollars and the date the bank account was open. Parent, spouse, or sponsor in the United States, a notarized affidavit of support, and a letter from parent, spouse, or sponsor's bank with the date the account opened and the signature of an authorized bank representative. A notarized letter in English stating the relationship and the amount of money that would be made available in the United States. Government employer international organization, official letter from your sponsor addressed to Bowie State and signed by an authorized representative of the agency of the organization. right? And it goes into the deadline. So it gives a little rundown for international students there. I mean, it's not quite as extensive as some of the other ones, but you have to understand that Bowie is a medium to small range school. So it might not have all the bells and whistles as some of the other universities. You're looking at about 5,381 students last checked. Acceptance rate of 87%, so you should have no problem getting in. Campus sits on 339 acres. All right. Tuition for in-state, you don't have to worry about it because you're not in-state. $8,753. Out of state, it's $19,544. That doesn't include housing and all that other stuff, which actually is a little below the national average because the national average is $27,394. So it's a good buy for your buck if that's what you're looking at. All right. I always encourage people to visit campuses if you happen to be in the United States. If you're floating around, if you travel to the U.S., if your daddy has a private jet, then, come through and take a look at it. All right. Bowie is actually located in Prince George's County, which is in Maryland. It's a suburb of Washington, D.C. If you want to know more about Bowie, you could type in Wikipedia, Bowie, Maryland. You can find out everything you want to find out about it. All right. Beautiful, beautiful city. Not too far from Washington, D.C. A lot of things going on. We call this like suburban living, and the campus is a beautiful campus. I've been going on and off that campus for 30 plus years, and like I said, it's one of Maryland's hidden gems. Another historical piece is that Bowie is a HBCU, historically black college university, and it's actually the first historically black college and university in the state of Maryland. So there is some significance there. Let's look at, and also they do take the Common App. So we don't have to worry about that. They do take the Common App. And I think the cost is like $35 to apply. Not exactly sure. I'm thinking I think it's $35. Remember I said, the hack, if you can't afford it, call admissions and tell them, hey, I'm having a little problem with this, and then they might actually waive those fees for you. All right. I mentioned before that about Bowie State, where they used to have rolling admissions, where you could kind of apply whenever you wanted. But I guess since it became so packed, or many people took advantage of it, rolling admissions has been closed. And I don't even know if that's really pertaining to international students, because the preparation is so much higher for international students. All right. Let's look at some of the courses that they offer here. All right. So we're going to look at the undergrad programs. Look at the grad programs a little later on. And here's the colleges that they have here. So you have arts and sciences, business, education, and professional studies. They have over 29 undergraduate majors, 40 master's programs, 15 specialty certificates, and 2 doctoral programs in a variety of high demand fields. All right. So pretty much what you need to do is figure out if Bowie State is something that you'd be interested in. I scanned down here on some of the programs that are available: accounting, advertising design, animation and motion graphics, banking and finance, all the way to broadcast journalism, biology, communications, computer science, creative writing, digital cinema, and time-based media, which is actually a concentration. And they have a strong entrepreneurship program as well. So I think you can find whatever you want here. Like I said, this university is relatively easy to get into. But like I said, a school is going to be what you make it. It is a HBCU, and they have been struggling recently with finances, but it seems that the state has put a little bit of money into the school, so it's growing. Once again, it's a state college. Whenever you hear state in the name of a school, generally it's a state college, it's a state university. So of course, students in Maryland are going to get paid, are going to pay cheaper than somebody who is outside of Maryland. So don't feel bad, international students, because even if you're from Florida, you come to Bowie State, you're paying out of state tuition rates. All right. check these guys out. This would be definitely one of your safety schools that you could throw on if you're interested in the East Coast and you like Maryland, like I love Maryland. I'm going to run all these Maryland schools down for you and all these surrounding areas so you can make some decisions. But definitely, if you're at this stage where you're thinking about international studies, and as long as you don't have anything less than a C average or whatever, you could definitely get into Bowie State. However, understand, just because you get into school doesn't mean you stay there. And there are competent teachers in every school and incompetent teachers in every school. All right. Take that into consideration. Let me know what you think. Bowie State University. It's open, since 1865. It's been in existence. So, hey, check them out and let me know what you think. Definitely check out Bowie State University. Like I said, it's HBCU college. Definitely you can get in as long as you have halfway decent grades and you don't have a lot of failing marks. And, you can get in. A lot of international students have come here over the years and they've benefited. Many have gone on back to their home country. Some people have come on and actually started teaching there at the university. So, check it out. They have a big international presence. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And like I always said, you always do your own due diligence when you look at these universities. What works best for you? Okay, what works best for you? Personally, I may be a little biased because, Maryland is my home state and I love it here. You see, I like the trees, I like the garden. I like a lot of stuff that goes on here. And like I said, Bowie State University actually isn't too far from here. So, you'll be getting a nice little suburban campus and you'll get a good education. And there's so much to do in D.C., in the Washington, D.C. area. So, it's an option for you guys. Mark it down. Remember, it's on a Common App. Rolling admissions has kind of stopped for this semester here. But definitely for next year, you apply early. I'm sure you'll get it.